Good morning. Welcome everyone to another LinkedIn Live brought to you by MnSearch. I'm Michelle Stinson Ross, and I am joined by the absolutely wonderful, amazing, brilliant, intelligent Cari O'Brien.
Stop it. Hi. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
So, there are several reasons why I wanted to sit and have an interview with Cari. Cari is one of our speakers for this year's MnSearch Summit. Cari has served on the board of MnSearch, most recently as our previous president. We are so thrilled that she still wants to hang out with us.
I seriously meant it when I said I miss y'all in the comments to this. I'm like, it feels weird. It feels weird. So
And
I'm
of course,
happy to be coming back.
Cari is an accomplished and experienced marketer in several realms and has plenty to say about digital marketing and AI. And so we have a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, where do we start? Where do you want to start?
Well,
What
let's
should we
start
do?
with like a little bit more of your own background, Cari, and what you want people to know about you and how you came to be doing what you're doing.
Oh, good grief. All right. So the long and short of it is I have been in digital marketing since 2007, and I fell into it accidentally. I came here by the way of a law degree and practicing law for a little bit of time, and then fell into legal marketing as a kind of backup when that whole '07, '08 crash happened. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And then it turns out I love marketing. And this is where I've stayed ever since. And I've been running my own agency since 2013. We focus on content marketing, branding, audience development, all that fun stuff. And I guess what to know about me now. I mean, after so many years, I'm doing a lot more consulting and coaching, and not so much direct writing myself. But we have a whole team here that can do that. So um, I've been having a lot of fun in that arena. Yeah.
Fantastic. Um, let's talk a little bit about the digital marketing community and
Mm.
what that means to you, how it's impact your career path, all that kind of stuff. Let's start there. And I'll also tell our viewers that are watching live, please feel free to drop your questions for Cari in the chat. If you've got any questions, comments, whatever, or you just want to say hey, drop those comments and I will do my best to make sure that they are addressed through the course of this conversation. So, Cari,
Yeah.
community.
Community. All right. Well, I will say this. And no, Michelle did not like prompt me with this, just so y'all know. But I will say that MnSearch, the MnSearch community very specifically, really helped launch my own career in many ways. So when I came to MnSearch as a volunteer and member, gosh, 7, 8, 9, 9 years ago, something like that. I didn't know a ton of folks in the industry, but I did have many contacts from good old days at one of my former employers, and they were mostly in the search community, and most folks knew me as a writer. And so I was welcomed into the MnSearch community as an SEO copywriter at first, and then really started just making connections and building relationships and building referral partnerships, and then collaborating with other business owners and doing a fair bit of accountability support and all of that. And that really helped like my personal growth,
Mhm.
as well as helping Custom Content Solutions, my agency, grow in its own right as well. And so I stayed within the MnSearch community for many years. As Michelle said, I just recently rolled off as president at the end of 2023. And I am still here as a member because I will never leave. You all are stuck with me for as long as you'll have me. But I firmly believe that this community is one that really gives back and supports individuals wherever they are
Mhm.
in their journey in the digital marketing field. And I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be um, speaking on so many stages. I wouldn't feel confident in my own voice if I didn't have that support so many years ago to get me started, and then sticking around with MnSearch and traveling and doing all the fun stuff with it. It has really helped me come into my own right, which is great.
Fantastic. So, as far as the conference circuit goes, because that is part of the community, is all the conferences. It's not just the summit that you've been a part of. You've spoken at several other conferences, attended several other conferences. What's the benefit there to being just an attendee of a conference like the summit or like Moz? Or please feel free to mention any and all conferences you would like to mention, Cari.
I'm not going to do all the name dropping, but what I will say is this. I think that personally and professionally, I grow and I become a better human every time I attend a conference. It allows me, one, to keep up on current trends, which always helpful. Two, to interact with folks who are willing to share their knowledge freely, from speakers to other attendees. Just the conversations that happen during the conferences and, at the, post parties and the pre-events and all the other social events happening around them. If you can, go to at least one of them, because the relationships you build there, the insights you gather, propel you forward. It also like reinvigorates you. I mean, I'm an extrovert. Okay, so I'm going to put that out there. So I love spending time in large groups, and I get my energy from that. And I also get really energized about the work I do and what I'm doing, and maybe some new ways to try some things out after attending these conferences and hearing some things. So it's a way to, I don't know, get outside my own head, and learn new perspectives and be open to, how to incorporate other types of digital marketing maybe into what my agency is doing, or, how I'm coaching my clients. And, I learned about this one thing that I'm not really in detail and in depth with, but hey, now I have someone I can refer you to because I met this person and they know X, Y, Z. So, I mean, the benefits, I think, are just so vast that if you can attend at least one conference a year, and I would go so far as to say, if you have the budget, once a quarter. Don't do what I do, which is travel like monthly, to attend conferences. I really have been a little bit crazy these past couple of years, but I love it. I absolutely love it because it's the community, it's the relationships, it's the learning, it's the referrals. It's not just to me, but to others that I can like pay it back or pay it forward, or whichever way you want to look at it. Yeah, it all kind of feeds into each other, and the more you're out there, the more people get to know you. And then the more they want to see you, and then it just kind of feeds into itself.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you are a speaker.
I am.
You've spoken at several conferences, and now that you're no longer on the board, we could actually have you speaking at the summit, which honestly I've been dying to do, and we've never been able to do it. Can you tell us a little bit more about the topic you're going to be covering in June at the MnSearch Summit?
Ooh. Yes, I'll give a little tease for it, because it's still in development. Which means, by the way, as you're listening to this, if you have questions, if you want to hear something, you're attending the summit, and you're like, I want to attend Cari's session, and I want to learn X, Y, Z. Send me an email, drop me a DM on LinkedIn, like do something to communicate with me what you want to know about. And I will see if I can't bake that into my presentation. So what am I talking about? I am talking about generative AI governance. Specifically, I'm talking about Gen AI policies and processes for marketing teams. So MnSearch Summit focuses on the marketing community, the digital marketing community. AI, Gen AI is just huge. It's everywhere. And, it's kind of like the wild, wild west of times in many ways. And what I want to encourage folks to do, because again, that whole lawyer thing that I mentioned a little bit before, I can't help but pay attention to potential legal ramifications of things, or just making sure that we're doing things, I don't know, ethically. And so I'm going to be talking a lot about just like, what is AI governance and what benefits and risks are associated with using generative AI and what happens if you don't have policies in place. What if you don't train your team or determine what tools to use together? Um, you want to make sure that you as a team or you as a sole marketer within your company or whatever this looks like, that you're all on the same board, same page, right? You're all on
Mhm.
board on the same page. Words are hard, friends. All right. So, yeah, so I'm going to talk about that kind of big picture. Yes, a little bit's theory, a little bit, but there will be a lot of application as well. So
Mhm.
I will cover items of, like what to include in a Gen A policy, like what tools do we use? Who uses what? Who's going to double check all the work?
Mhm.
Um, what do we need to build in? Where in the process do we need to build it in? So I'm going to answer a lot of those questions, and I'm going to have a little takeaway, like a little checklist, so folks can go ahead and then like take that checklist, take what they've learned, bring those thoughts back, and say, "Here's a checklist. Let's make sure we're implementing this." Because I know almost everybody, if you're not using AI yet, I mean, do. There are many, many benefits to using AI to help you in your content creation, SEO, et cetera processes, right? But how do you do it? How do you do it well? How do you do it ethically? How do you make sure your team is on the same page?
Right.
That stuff matters to me because I want to make sure that in the end, we're doing right by the people we're serving. And so we have to know how to guide them, how to deliver our services, how
Mhm.
to do all of this well so that they're safe, so that they're getting stuff that is, quality and all of that. So that's my little tease.
Nice. Well, I want to go a slight step further, if you don't mind,
Well, maybe.
and um, get you to open up a little bit about why the governance is important. And it's not just about the tools or when to use it, which tool to use, whatever, but there are issues with like intellectual property and copyright that
Yeah.
also come into this. And I know you and I have debated a lot about where that
Honey.
line is.
Well, I mean, come on now. This is a can of worms. Careful. We only have so many minutes here, right?
But if we could just like touch on that for a moment, I think that the people watching would definitely go, "Oh, okay, this is why I need to be at the summit to hear more about all the things."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We could talk like a few of the risks, right? Let's talk
Mhm.
about a few of the risks coming into this, and if we're not all on the same page,
Right.
words, what can happen? Okay. So, yes, there are several lawsuits in place right now, happening at this moment, around copyright issues. So, what data was used to train these LLMs? What information is it sending back to you, right? Because it's not creating new content; it's just churning out stuff that it's finding from elsewhere online.
Mhm.
And so, what do you own if you use these tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, et cetera? If you use these tools to create content, if you use tools like, why am I blanking right now? Bing or ChatGPT for visuals, right? So, like, if you're creating content, is it yours? Is it yours? Can you own the copyright? Do you need to own the copyright on everything you create? Like, that's another question.
Mhm.
Yes, I am not a practicing lawyer, but I have thoughts, right? So I can bring some of those thoughts to the table, and will. But obviously, this is a thing that as a company, you want to know, okay, what do we want to make sure we own? We have the
Mhm.
copyright on, because if we don't own the copyright, that means other people can copy it. They can take it. They can use it
Right.
however they want.
Which,
Um,
depending on how you use the AI, you probably did yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, right. Oh. So that copyright is a huge issue. The Copyright Office can't keep up with this. Um, there are multiple lawsuits in progress. Like, it's kind of a mess. And so you want to be aware of what potential issues are here. And if
Mhm.
you, as a company, as a brand, care about certain messaging that you're creating, certain images that you're creating, like if you care about those things, then you need to know what you should and shouldn't be doing with AI. Okay. There are also issues around like privacy and data governance when using tools. like ChatGPT, like Bing, like all of these things. Okay. So, what you need to know is what information are you putting into these tools? Is it safe? Like,
Mm,
what should you or shouldn't you be including in your prompts when you are telling, I need XYZ? Are you giving it your client's information? Is your client okay with you entering that in? Um, so there are a lot of concerns
mm,
around the usage of your data and other people's data when
right.
using these tools. Um, I mean, hallucinations. Can we talk about hallucinations and
Please, because
like,
it
you
seems to
know,
be in the news again.
hallucinations and fake news, right? These tools love to make stuff up. My favorite, one of my favorite stories is a lawyer who used was it ChatGPT to create and write his legal brief, and that legal brief, man, full of cases cited and information, and guess what? None of it was real. Like I, can't, and he didn't fact check it. Did great, thanks ChatGPT. Submit to court. Court's like, hey, dude, yeah, that didn't work out well. That didn't work out well for that man. Um,
Mm,
yeah, and also then not for his client, right? Because he just so we have to remember that these are tools to use to assist and augment what we're doing, not
mm,
to take place of the thought work that we must do. So,
mm.
um, yeah, those are just a few kind of big picture risks that, if aren't addressed, can really lead to some problems.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know there are people watching. I can
Oh,
see you
hi.
there.
Hi.
Do you guys
Happy
have
Thursday.
anybody have any questions for Carrie? Carrie's got her Disney beverage holder there. I have my lead pages. Hi, lead
Hi,
pages.
lead pages.
I'm
Hello, Bob the teacher.
I'm giving one of our summit sponsors a shout out here.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
While we wait for those, this is my newest addition to my Disney mug collection.
Yay!
Yes, I was just at Disney World for everybody who's wondering. I was there 2 weeks ago. I landed 2 weeks ago and then participated in a whole Run Disney weekend. Completed 19.3 miles and brought home 4 medals
You go,
and got
girl.
and an injured knee, but we don't have to talk about that. That's fine. Hashtag I'm old. It's fine.
I did promise you guys that there would be Disney
No,
mentions.
oh,
It was inevitable.
it was never like I did plant the coffee cup. I will not lie. Like I knew I was going to be here. I also knew that I just can't not have a beverage when I'm talking, and so I was like, well,
Mhm,
it'll be a
mhm.
Disney mug.
It'll be a Disney mug.
Yep.
So,
Have we killed enough time? Has anybody asked a question?
no questions yet, guys. Come on, you're just like sitting here watching. I know
That's
it's
okay.
like we're just going to be here to entertain you. That's fine. We can manage. Speaking of entertainment, so I have to throw this in because, like I said, you are a speaker. You and I have both like influenced each other's speaking process. Like I know I introduced you to Digital Summit. You were one of the ones that introduced me to MnSearch to do all that. I want to also throw out there that one of the unique things that MnSearch is doing this year is a speakers workshop. So for those of you that want to give it a shot, do what Carrie and I have been doing and actually get up on stage and share something amazing that you've learned about digital marketing. We are going to be doing a speakers workshop in June, the day before the summit, because we're crazy like that. And I wanted to talk to you, Carrie, just a brief moment about
Yeah.
Disney and creativity and how that leads you to your decks because your decks are very unique.
Oh my god, you got a snort out of me. I was not expect. Okay, all right, all right. Listen, I say this to everyone I meet, because I am just a huge Disney nerd, and if you don't know me well yet, now you know. I'm surrounded by Disney stuff. My family, we're big Disney World, well, pass holders currently. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing in my life, and I love it, and it's beautiful. Um, and uh, I definitely theme every presentation with Disney imagery. And so, a fun one that I just did. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is too much. So, last month I spoke at the Minnesota Brewers Conference, and absolutely included all of the like images from all of the animated films, and it's only animated films that I use. There's one small exception, but it's always animated film stills that I use. And I can't tell you how many images of animated Disney characters drinking beer, including our good friend Mickey Mouse. So between screenshots of bars and pubs and restaurants serving beer, to actual the drinking of beer, to tapping new kegs, to like the whole thing. Um, Anybody remember Sir Hiss and
Mhm,
yeah, okay, Robin Hood. Yeah, okay.
mhm,
Can't,
mhm.
can't, I can't. I'm such a nerd. Listen, I do this. I entertain myself by doing this. Um, and I always find my people in every room I speak in,
Right.
because the other Disney nerds, when they get the random references that I say just in passing, you hear them chuckle and they're like, "Oh, I get that. Oh yeah, no, I know. Like you're my Disney nerd friend." It's what I do. It's what I've been doing for years now. And I say hashtag sorry not sorry to anybody in the room who doesn't like Disney. I hope that it's entertaining anyway. So I haven't quite figured out how this whole Gen AI processes and policies, like how I'm going to have fun with this one. I think
Mhm.
that's the images are that might be a little tricksy for me, but they'll be there. They'll be there.
Right on.
And yeah, it's a blast. It's a
So
blast.
I'm going to be slightly self-promotional, but I know that
Do it.
Cari will let me do it.
Go for it.
Um, you see this link down here. If you are interested in getting support and moving the bar forward as far as getting into that speaker space, what you're going to get out of this workshop is how to pitch, how to put a deck together. So taking ideas like how Cari themes hers, how I've done D&D themes where I've actually
Yeah.
literally told my audience, I need you to roll for initiative as we get started, which I get chuckles from my D&D references, as well as getting some time to actually get up in front of a very friendly, very supportive audience where everybody else is in the same boat with you. We're here to support you and give you the opportunity, because one of the things that we've always loved about being a local organization is that we get to support local emerging speakers. And
Mm.
in order to do that, we thought that a great way to do it would be this workshop. So if you're looking to grow that, or if you know somebody, so for those of you watching, if this doesn't apply, but you're thinking, oh my God, I know of 3 or 4 people, please send them this link and tell them that they have an opportunity to work with other industry speakers. So I'm going to be there leading. Diane is going to be leading. Our programming director, Daniel, is going to be a part of this workshop. All 3 of us have spoken not only at MnSearch events, but also national marketing events all over the place. Diane just got back from the UK speaking at Brighton SEO. So not only will you be working with experienced industry speakers, but all of us have the ability to reach out to different organizations, different events, and introduce you as a potential emerging speaker. So when we say we're really putting this back into the community because of the opportunities we've had, we definitely put our money where our mouth is.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Not wrong, friends. Yeah, take them up on this. I didn't know they were doing this. So I again, I'm not a part of running the board or the event or anything anymore. So I feel very out of the
We
loop.
just took
I,
that over and like, fine, you want out, you're out. Bye.
Bye. Bye. So when Michelle told me about this, I'm like, man, if I had known about this, 5 years ago, I would have jumped on it before I felt confident enough in my own right to do this. So yes, do it. Do it. They've got experience speaking. They've also had amazing training themselves on how to do this. So tap into that knowledge, friends. Tap into it. Um,
Well, not only do we want people to tap into our own knowledge, but we know that there are a lot of people out there in the community, whether in the MnSearch community or in the larger just digital marketing community that resides here in Minnesota, that there are a lot of other people that have benefited, have been a part of this, and maybe want to give back. So I also want to take a moment and let you know that there is a greater opportunity to give back to the community that has supported you, to do things like help support local speakers, help develop the next summit, all of those sorts of things. If you've ever thought, wow, this is really cool and I wish I could be a part of planning it, a part of like, it'd be really cool if we did this thing, there's an opportunity for that as well. So we have several open board positions, and Cari has been on the board. She can tell you what that's like. I want to make sure and point out to you that's like, guys, there are board positions open right now. Happy to have you on board. You can help us with this last phase of getting the summit up and running. You can help us with what next year's summit looks like, what our monthly events look like, how we continue to pour back into the community. You guys have the opportunity to speak into that and be a part of what that looks like. And I want to call out, let's see, what do I want to call out? I think I want to call out the fact that we have a membership director position open right now. So for those of you that have been a part of MnSearch and you're like, I love what I get out of this as a member, and you would like to see maybe more things happening for members, maybe you want to speak into what else should there be as a part of a MnSearch membership, I have an open seat for you. So I'm really hoping that some of you will go, okay, okay, I get this. Cari, can you give them a little highlight as to what it's like to be on the board and also what you
mm,
get out of being on the board?
mm. Sure. Um, hot seat. Okay. Yes. So I will say what it's like to be on the board. It's a beautiful way to give back to a community that has helped you in any way. Yes, it's a volunteer position. Yes, it's board led, right? So everything that happens only if the individuals on that board make it happen. And so I will say sometimes it's like heavy work. I mean, Summit running a conference as a like volunteer gig, y'all is no small feat. But most of the time, what it really is giving back to individuals you know and support, gaining support, building better, stronger relationships, um, building broader networks. I mean, through MnSearch, that's how I connected with folks, at organizations like Wix, and have gone to companies, around the country. Um, and I would say it's also a way to put your skills to use in a different manner,
Mhm.
right? We all have a vast amount of digital marketing skills at this point. And yes, we do that for our clients, and yes, we get paid for it. How can we keep that going, and how can we ensure that there's the next generation coming up, and how can we help them
Right,
become even better than where
right.
we are? And I think it pays you back more than what you ever give,
Mhm.
in knowing how you've given your time, how you've committed yourself, how you've shown up for the community. Um, I mean, it's meaningful work. It's meaningful work. And yes, if you haven't ever sat on a board, you can still join the MnSearch board. Happy folks are very happy to help you understand what that actually means to
Right,
be a board member.
right.
So you don't have to have a vast amount of experience in board service to be a part of this. You can learn as you go. And I can also say, even for folks who are somewhat newer to the industry, the board is open to that. Why? Because you've got fresh perspectives, fresh ideas.
Right.
Folks like myself or Michelle who've been in this for a longer time, like we might get stuck in our ways, or we might not see something, or we might just not feel it. And fresh perspectives are so welcome. So yeah,
Well, and it
that's what
doesn't
I'd
look
say.
half bad on your resume either.
I mean, absolutely not. No, it does. It definitely helps. It definitely helps that. Yeah.
Cari, is there anything else you want to mention in the vast array of things that we've discussed? Is there anything else that you want to call out or like bring attention to?
No, I just want folks to come to the summit so I can see y'all in person. Please. I love that stuff. So please come to the summit. And if you have any interest in this talk that I am currently working on, reach out to me on LinkedIn, send me a DM. And let me know, like, hey, oh, right there. Thanks, Michelle. Send me that DM. Let me know what you're thinking or what questions you have. And I mean, I'll have a conversation with you, but I can also bake some of that into that presentation. That would really help. So, yeah, I just hope to see some happy, shiny, smiley faces at the summit in just over a month.
I know.
Oh, that's weird. What is it? 6 weeks? Sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. Sorry, Michelle. I said nothing.
We are very much aware. But not only reach out to Cari to, work through the finer points of what she's going to be talking about as far as AI governance at the summit, but as Cari mentioned, she is a coach and consultant. So if you want some help, or you know of a business owner or whoever that could really use some coaching in digital marketing, Cari's the person to reach out to. Be sure and not only connect with her on LinkedIn, but feel free to share that profile link wherever you feel like coaching is needed.
It's very sweet of you. Thank you, Michelle.
My pleasure. And that wraps it up for us. I see you, this last viewer that just now joined us. It's like our coffee got cold, and we got to go get more now. So you'll have to let us wrap this up and then go back and watch the replay.
Thanks for showing up. That's what I say. Thank you for being here, no matter how long you're here. Appreciate you.
I'm glad you are here.
That's right.
So in closing, make sure I will take a moment, especially on like Twitter and LinkedIn. Yes, I'm still calling it Twitter. Don't make me call it anything but Twitter.
No judgment.
I will be dropping the links in comments and threads and all the good things, so that you're not missing any opportunity to hit any of those links to get your summit ticket, find out more about the speakers workshop, find out more about serving on the board, how to get in touch with Cari. It's all going to be there. I promise. I'm going to drop these links in all the places. And thank you so much for watching. And please, if you got anything out of this, as soon as this live event closes and the replay is ready, please share. Don't keep this all to yourself. This is why we put it out there on YouTube and LinkedIn and everything. Share. Hit that share button. Tell people why it is you want them to watch it. Do all the things. You are marketers after all.
And you are a marketer at heart. You just can't help yourself. I love it. Thanks for having me, Michelle. It's been fun.
Thank you, Cari, so much. And I hope everybody else has a great